Oh, no. Dimmick does fine. It's not, it's just, they get out there and they do an outstanding job. It's just, when the wind blows, there's nothing in it. It just comes up as fast as you take it away. No, we get Tony Lawson out there. He does an awesome job and everything. I got no complaints. Every township had a guy like him, they'd be in good shape. All right, we're good.
Okay, well,
Call the meeting to order. I need a motion to approve WebEx.
we don't have WebEx up, so don't worry about it.
WebEx isn't up
That's
today.
up. What is it, YouTube?
Remote,
We don't have
YouTube
it.
is up, but the WebEx for the remote call-in is not
So
working.
nobody can hear us?
No, they can hear
They
it.
can hear
us,
through
but-
YouTube.
Okay,
Yeah,
motion. Steve, Luann? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, need a motion for the minutes of the previous meeting to accept them. Luann? Bill? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, bills, 005 Highway Department, hand drawn. $40,922.55. 006 Special tax match. $118,804.37. 007 County Bridge and hand drawn. $125,813.06.
16, is it 6?
6, ain't it?
Yeah.
6, yeah. County 017, county motor fuel tax. $953,726.60. Township motor fuel tax. $518,779.96. Township bridge, 919, $25,785.36. Total $1,791,831.90. I need a motion to approve the bills. Ray? Steve? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, public comment? New business.
Okay. First up is the approval of the utility boring permits. First one I got up is a bore permit for Trevor Jackson on County Highway 4, just east of only 71. There's been that bore diagonally across the road with a 12-inch casing. Mason Directional Boring is doing it, and he's already got his bond filed with the county for doing other projects already this year. So I recommend this for approval. This one's 23-36, County Highway 3 in Northville Township for ComEd. They are looking at doing some modifications to some existing poles and replacing some existing poles along County Highway 3. I recommend that for approval. Next one's 23-37, County Highway 15 in Otter Creek Township. It's for Commonwealth Edison. This is in conjunction with our County Highway 15 project to relocate some poles that would be in conflict with our project there in County Highway 15. I recommend this for approval.
Is that it?
That's all utility permits. Yeah.
Need motion to approve utility permits? Luann, Bill, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Next on the agenda was resolution 23-25, authorizing a professional services agreement with Will and Hoffman and Associates for engineering services on section 23-0862-0BR, which is on County Highway 34, right by the lock and dam. I reviewed his agreement, and then he had in his fee scheduled for that bridge to be staged or temporary runaround detour in his fee. And he goes, no, I don't have it in there. So at that point, he don't have a final agreement for that, so we're not going to pass anything today. So next month, he'll get that numbers back to me and we'll pass it next month. So that's the bridge. Most times we do stage full closures on our county highways, but where that bridge is located at and access that is needed along here on D Bennett to the lock and dam, to the barge terminals, we need to either do a stage bridge or we need to do a runaround on that bridge to keep the truck traffic down through here. Next on the agenda is 23-26, which is authorizing a professional services agreement with Will and Hoffman Associates for the biennial township bridge inspections and a load rating chart. With this is for the townships. Trying to think the number of inspections that are being done next year. This is the big year for the townships. There's 171 structures that need to be inspected for the county, for the township structures next year. The Will and Hoffman's doing it at $475 per structure for a total agreement of $81,225. That is paid by the townships. So no county funds in that part. The only thing we have county funds in this project is $2,000, and that's for updating our county bridge rating chart. What we have is every structure in LaSalle County, we have a bridge rating loaded on there for oversized loads. So once you get over 80,000 pounds on 5 axles, we start looking at if that bridge or not can take that load. So we have a load rating chart saying whether or not that bridge can take that load, whether it's on 8 axles, 10 axles, whatever, all the way up to 12 axles. We have those numbers already calculated and we can approve their permit as it comes in. If it can't, we tell them, oh, by the way, they gotta find a different route around our bridge. But we keep that, we do the rating chart updated every 2 years. And it gets updated based off of new bridges that are built, but also as inspections of the old bridges get inspected and the ratings change on them, then at that point, the rating of the low rating of the bridge changes too. So
Is that for the township bridges too?
No.
Or just the
county.
Just the county bridges?
Yeah, because I don't have authority to give a low permit to go over a township bridge. Township commissioner has that authority. So we do our bridges, so we have it when we're signing our permits.
Now, do they have to have their bridges inspected?
Their bridges are inspected, but they're not load rated. So at that point, for them to go oversized loads, it's best to tell them if it's supersized, to have a firm go out, review the bridge to say whether or not it can safe it. And you pass whatever that cost you have on to the company asking for permission to cross the bridge.
You said there's 171 getting inspected, and you said that's up. Is there a reason
Bridges are inspected, but it depends on the inspection cycle. Some are inspected every 4 years, some inspected every 2 years, some down to a year. Some may even be down in 6 months or even shorter, depending on the condition of the structure. So some years depends on when the structures are built, how they fit into the inspection cycle. So some years we have more bridges inspected, some years we have less. Like last year we had a few county structures. This year we have more county structures to inspect. It just depends on how the cycle goes.
A minimum is 2 years of,
No, inspection could be less than 6 months. In fact, you've got a special inspection for something that's critical, it might be all the way down to 3 months. But a lot of times they're around 6 months, but most of them are between 2 and 4 years. It's a new structure, it's 4 years. And once the structure starts getting aged and deterioration goes down, it drops down to 2 years. Then if the deterioration goes further down, it might drop down to a year, and then you start getting into the special
And
inspection.
does usage make a difference too, as far as the type of usage or the frequency of usage of the bridge?
No, it's basically on the condition of the bridge, the actual rating numbers of the bridge.
And then you said the township is going to absorb the cost of that $81,000.
Yeah, when we could set up their estimate of cost for next year for the MFT program, part of the line item in there is to pay for the bridge inspections.
Okay, and each township is rated differently, how they contribute? the amount of money they contribute?
Right, because it depends how many bridges they actually have.
Okay, so it depends
It's
on the
on how many
bridges.
bridges, yes.
All right.
Times
So-
475 or whatever.
Yeah. Some have one, some have eight, I think it's
Most
a
is 16.
16, so
It's pretty pricey to inspect a bridge, I thought.
475, yeah, it's a good price, because by the time they spend at a bridge, because generally they've done it the previous one, so they could put out the previous inspection, but they generally go out with, every year they take new pictures, and they go through a thorough detailed inspection, and if there's different cracking, or if there's different scour issue, they take pictures and organize it, and they give us a nice report at the end of the year, which we get, or for the townships, they get a copy to take for themselves, and we keep a copy.
And then I would think like with waterways, I mean, they're inspecting underneath, you know, how well they're set in the ground and erosion, and I would think they're looking at all that stuff.
Yeah, and they're looking really at the detail of the structure. So at that point, they're out walking through that channel, looking above, looking at the beams, very detailed, see whether there's any cracking or not in the beams.
Okay, I need a motion to approve resolution 23-26.
How many motions?
Ray, Bill, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Now we to the phone. Resolution authorizing appropriating the MFT funds for. Come, I got this in different orders. Yeah, 23-27. The numbers are different from what's on the agenda.
Oh,
23-27 is appropriating funds for the payment of the county engineer's salary. This is requesting that necessary funds be appropriate for the county's allotment of more field tax funds for the purpose of paying the salary of the LaSalle County engineer from January 1st of 2024 through December 31st of 2024. And authorizing surface transportation program funds to be made available at IDOT, equal amount of 50% of the county engineer's annual salary. LaSalle County participates in the county engineer salary program, which 50% of the funds comes out of the county's MFT funds. The other 50% of the funds come back from the state of Illinois as additional MFT funds as we transfer $73,700 of federal funds to the state of Illinois. And with this, the salary and labor approved that all non-union employees are supposed to get a 5% raise this year. The state of Illinois, of course, did not follow or recommend salaries and give the same thing. In fact, they still have not released their salary rating for this year yet. But if I have my inkling, they'll probably do the same thing they've done the last couple of years. Over the last few years, the raise I've got has been less than every non-union employee at the county. First year, I got 1.5%. The county employees, non-union employees got 2%. The next year, they got 2.5%. I got 2%. Last year, non-union employees got 3%. I got 2%. So I'm just fully falling behind compared to the rest of the county employees. And I discussed with Chairman Jensen and Wally, well, then what I should do this year? And they said, well, salary and labor said all non-union employees get a 5% raise. You're a non-union employee. So that's why I set this up for us, for a 5% raise.
But you get money from the IDOT or something, right?
IDOT,
The other ones also get that, or county employees?
they don't get money from IDOT.
No, I mean from any other sources.
From the other, I think I'm trying to think, the sheriff's department gets funds from everywhere else, and down, I think they might get funds from the state of Illinois through other programs to make up their salary
I'm
portion.
pretty sure it doesn't, show attorney down.
Yeah.
I think state may have to salary part of it.
State's attorney, sure, right? Right.
Yeah.
So the money from IDOT, what's that for?
What?
Money from IDOT that he talked about?
Well, this program is set up for half my salary is out of county MFT funds. The other half of my salary is made up by transferring federal funds that the county could receive for a project. And instead, we send it back to the state of Illinois and they send back to us MFT funds.
Well, so that's not extra, that's part of the salary makeup.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So the county ain't fully funding your salary.
Right.
I think, but were you asking if there was any type of a stipend above and beyond the 50% match? Because there are different departments that do have that.
I don't get,
Right.
I don't gain extra pay anywhere else. It's whatever my salary is, that's the pay I get.
Let me ask you, so the IDOT funds, that actually goes as your total salary, as part of your total salary, is the 5% on just the county or on your total salary?
On the total salary.
Yeah, that would be fair. All right.
So right now, from last year to this year, my raise would be $7,000.
For 5%.
For 5%, it's $7,000.
You could do it commensurate with stipulation of what the state or IDOT comes down to, and then now say if they did 2.5, say 3%. So then that 2%, yeah, the 5% comes out of the general fund then?
No, nothing different. With this program, IDOT doesn't say there's a cap on what you can pay the county engineer. You can pay the county engineer whatever. What they do is they set a minimum. They say you got to pay a minimum of this to participate in the program. So you can pay more. And at that point, the 50% is always 50% of whatever you're actually paying the county engineer. So it's not 50% of what they recommend, it's 50% of what actual salary is.
Yeah, so if IDOT recommended 3% or 3.5% or whatever it is, I
Mhm.
find hard to believe that they can probably come in at lower than 3.5% or 4%. The federal's coming in just over 5%.
I know, I'm thinking they're gonna be back at 2 again this year. It's because of the politics in Springfield that goes on. And right now, IDOT themselves are not giving their non-union employees raises. So then this past year, they actually just gave them what they call a salary adjustment for the first time in 4 years. They get. So at that point, it really wasn't a raise. They called it a salary adjustment. They're not getting anything else this year. And those were all over the place, anywhere from 2% to 8%, depending on who you were. So it's not a very fair system. Well, the person who determines what this rate is the Secretary of Transportation. So he really doesn't want to turn around and give county engineers more than what he's given to his direct subordinates. So at that point, I think they're still be locked in at 2% again this year as far as recommended salary increase.
So Don, were you wondering if they only gave 3%, they would only increase the amount that they are contributing?
Yeah, that was the
3%,
question.
But-
So
and then
you're-
we
you're
would have to
basically
come
saying-
up with the
No,
difference.
no, they won't do
You're
that.
saying that if we say 5%, that 50% would be paid that way,
Yes,
at 5%.
yes,
And they
Yeah,
would,
and
they would
not-
pay their
not
share
their
at 5% also.
yes.
Yeah.
That's all, that's, in fact, all the resolutions written up that they will sign on to, because it's 50% of what the total salary is.
Now, if it
And-
comes in at higher than 5%, then basically it's going to stay at 5%.
Yes.
Based upon the.
Mhm.
the board
Based on this.
Good luck on that one, though, huh?
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna be
You're
able
a
to
betting
fight.
man here.
Yeah, but this, I also, I looked at other county engineer salaries in the area and around. Most of them are getting above the recommended salary. You'll show us similar in size. LaSalle County is kind of unique because it's kind of hard to find one. Because we're the second largest county in the state, but our population isn't that high. So we're kind of a unique breed. As far as what the state ranks LaSalle County as far as county engineer salary, is 12th in the state of 102. So it should be the 12th highest. And right now, if you look at the ones right above me, which would be like Wilk County, DuPage, Kane, Lake, and those counties like that, the county engineers up there are all getting paid around $180,000 a year. Similar county to what LaSalle is, except for Champaign County's got a major university in it. He is making $168,000 a year. So those salaries are substantially higher than what LaSalle County is at right now. And I know Nathan DeKalb, he's above the recommended salary by about $15,000. Grundy, he's, I think, about $5,000 over, and he's relatively new to the county. He's relatively new to Grundy County. He's only got 5 years in. I got 4 years in, and he's $5,000 over the recommended salary for Grundy County. And so at that point, I'm not too out of line with what other counties are treating their county engineers.
So do we need a motion for this or?
You have a 6-year contract? How's that work?
I got a 6-year appointment.
6-year appointment?
6 years.
Every year per salary?
Every year my salary, I have to go through every year for my salary, yes.
So this is a recommended
So this is what we're doing.
increase.
It's gonna have to be
not
voted to the board.
This is,
So this here, the resolution is for recommended 5%
it's for the.
increase, raise, starting January 1st.
and not recommended salary from IDOT.
Yeah,
Recommend raise on the entire salary though.
right. That's what he's saying, recommend raise based off of what the county is doing.
Do we send this to the full board or salary and labor?
It goes to stellar and labor first and then to full board.
Okay.
Did you plan this into the budget this way too, or?
I'm close to it.
Okay,
I'm close to it. At that time, when I was doing the budget, I put it in there for like a 4% raise, just to have a little room in the budget to have it. So I'm 1% over, so it's a minor impact to the budget.
Yeah.
Anybody else got any questions? Make a motion. Resolution 23, 28,
27.
27?
It's 27, 23, 27.
27, okay.
Take a motion, approve?
Ray? Bill? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Thank you. I'll talk about that later on. Next one's resolution 23-28, is providing for the appropriation of $2,422,300 from motor fuel tax funds to cover maintenance costs from December 1st of 2023 to November 30th of 2024 for section 24-00-00 GM, control number 1, and appropriating special tax funds and highway funds for the 2024 or general maintenance program. So with this covers the cost of our Cape Seal on our improvement program, our skip patch, aggregate shoulders, seal coat. It also covers the cost of our maintainers, salary and overtime. And with that also, we have the cost of buying the paint and beads that we put on for our pavement markings. So on their operational costs is that, so I want to do this. Deliver and install materials is at $2,197,000. The labor is at $1.48 million for a total estimated general maintenance cost of $3.677 million.
Yeah, I need a motion to approve resolution 23, 28. Bud? Yep. Steve? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Next, I was letting you guys know about a successful highway safety improvement program application. We applied for funding for putting shoulders on County Highway 2 from Salmon all the way down to 52. We were successful in getting $905,000 towards that work of federal funds, which at that point, that should cover 90% of the cost of putting those shoulders in.
Very good.
So we're putting that in conjunction with our next section of County Highway 2. We're incorporated into that project. And right now, our current County Highway 2 project is being delayed because NICOR is not getting our gas main out of the way of a pipe we need to replace. So as we're fighting with them, these two projects might go in conjunction at the same time, so it might work out good that the whole stretch of County Highway 2 gets resurfaced at the same time with new shoulders.
Is there a time frame on that you have to use it by, or?
Yeah, and we'll be easily on with that. We'll have it. As long as we get big things that they have to do is we have to get it obligated by a certain date frame. We don't have to have it spent by a certain date. We have to have it obligated by, we'll easily make the date. They give us 2 years, and we're already looking at getting that project to a letting yet this winter.
Oh, all right.
So
That's good news.
So let you know about that work. So, as far as department reports, Red, White, and Blue Bridge is proceeding. We're having some difficulties with the drilled shafts. 2 of them on the north pier are poured, and we're working on getting the 2 other ones poured, but we're having a problem with infiltration into the drilled shafts. So we're trying, I think, whatever, say plan D or E or F, whatever, to see if we can get that infiltration to stop and we can get those last 2 drill shafts on the north side poured, and then we'll move over to the south side and do the south pier. As far as other work, this week we lined the culvert on 2803rd, which is Koenig Road going up here to the hill. There was an old CMP underneath the township road that was in very, very bad shape. So we brought a liner in and we lined that culvert. It's completed. The township commissioner is very well pleased with the work. He goes, I think I might do this more culverts because I like the way it looks and looks like what it looks like in the material that's used. So good news for us. We have another culvert down in Grand Rapids. Be starting up next week. It takes about a month to complete.
Are liners typically like 50% or less of the cost of replacing?
We were looking at this one is under about, depending on where you were at, substantial amount of fill, anywhere from about like 10 feet to 20 feet of fill over top of the culvert. So tiny excavator, if we had a hole, you got a big hole in the road. And at that point, the amount it takes to do all that work would be equivalent to what the liner is. But then we also look at there's another way to get another benefit out of it. You don't have the settlement issues you're going to have probably with that much of a embankment coming out and going back in over the next 20 years. The settlement's already happened over that pipe.
Yeah.
It's not going to settle anymore. So we don't have to worry about future dip in the road. So that's what we're looking at that. So it's also, I like it because dealing with OSHA regulations about cutting a trench and how you're supposed to open the trench up and do either one-to-ones off the sides of it or going up 5 feet and stepping it back, or 5 feet and stepping up 5 feet. You don't have to worry about those anymore, especially with this one. This one's also was on about 45-degree skew across the road. So you can imagine the hole we would have had on that road. So at that point, it was made very good sense to go with a liner.
So there's a lot of side benefits.
Yes.
So the liner just preserves the, the culvert.
It doesn't preserve, it actually provides structure.
It does.
Yes, it actually provides structure. This liner is about a 1/2 inch thick. That's a resin. And it actually provides a structure that's strong or equivalent to what the original CMP was.
Oh, cool.
It only had 1/2 inch thick.
1/2 inch thick, yes.
Wow. It's pretty impressive.
As far as other projects, trying to think anything else what we got going on.
Everything else is wrapped up.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. Well, we're working forward for design for next year. Like I said, we were looking at getting the County Highway 2 project out in the winter. Hopefully County Highway 15, I get my right-of-way rest of the way finished, Leland was questioning about. Get that all certified by IDOT when we get the state letting for that one in January, get that project going next year.
Our salt building, all in good shape?
Salt building, we haven't started because right now we stuff all the salt in the buildings we got right now. So we kind of went, we pumped the brakes on it.
Kind of waiting on a permit too.
So, but
Is there plans to get that going yet this year or not?
probably not this year.
Hopefully next spring.
Well, next spring, we'll work on getting that done because if we have next year again, we're gonna have salt storage issues unless we have a winter that uses 2,000 tons of salt. So, but, where's it going on?
Projects?
Yeah. Those beyond those projects, I mean, those were all letting, we had a few other culverts to get the lettings to, which is, we had the one up on 33rd at East 11th to get to a letting. We're looking at in March for that one. We got the one on County Highway 9 by the old sale barn, looking at getting a spring letting with that one. We have a couple township ones that are on the county lines, one on East 30th down in Allen Township, and one on East Zeroth Road, Meridian Road over in Troy Grove Township, getting that to a letting this year yet. And then we also have one on County Highway 8 to get to a letting yet.
41.
And well, that's for the federal resurfacing job from Earlville up to the DeKalb County line, which we got federal funds and TARP funds. There's no county funds in the project. So
So basically, everything planned, it has been done on schedule, pretty much.
we're getting forward, moving forward, yes. And next year will be another busy year for us again, so that's good. Other news, as far as our vehicles, we got word the 2 F-150s are supposed to be in the process.
Yeah, I don't think he gave me an actual date.
He gave me the date, but
Yeah,
in the
he's
process,
promising.
in the process, so
These are
we're,
2 years in the waiting ones?
no,
No.
those are the F-150s. He basically said we should get them yet this year, so we'll hopefully get 2 F-150s yet this year. The 2 F-250s are basically he's saying, I don't know what we're gonna do, so.
So his production was one thing and now the strike is another.
So discussing with Brian, I was talking about the idea of maybe canceling the order and then possibly reach out to a couple local dealers here to see if they could get us F-250s.
The same
If they-
price.
And that's for the same price, we have to put it out for bid or whatever, because at that point, because they're not state contract. So we'll put it out for bid and see if the local dealer wants to step up, take the bid and see if they can order us one, because their governmental pricing is pretty close to what the state bid is. So at that point, they should come somewhere close to what that number is at. So I might be looking at that way, see if they can knock it, but we have time there when they have to place their order. So they only got a short window to order F-250s. So we have to get it ready and get it primed. And they're going, well, trouble is, I'm sure how they give us pricing, if they don't know what the pricing is before the order window opens up. So at that point, at that time, the last time was, I think the truck window was only about 2 weeks.
Wow.
So at that point, there's not much of a window to work with. So I have to talk to a few dealers and see if they could participate and be willing to participate in it. So if they are, we might be looking at doing it that way.
It's the 2 dealers you deal with.
Well, we're not doing it with any dealers, but I've talked to Shimmer Ford over in Peru, because I know the general manager very well. So I talked to him before, because that's why I took our state bid price and I walked over to him saying, can you beat this? He goes, no, but I'm close. I said, okay, close. You're in LaSalle County, that's a good thing. So, and we like, for the most part, we like Fords.
Yeah,
For those work trucks. So that's what we got as a fleet. So it's nice to stay with the same brand because it's easier for maintenance and repairs of them. Because once you work on one, you work on another one. If you walk on the shop today, you can see one we got totally tore apart. So then we got word that our one tandem has been released from the factory. So once it's received in CIT in Peru, it'll get shipped off to Benel. They get the body, plow, and all that put on the truck. So we're anticipating possibly getting a truck maybe by January, somewhere around there. Then we got word this morning, actually yesterday, Grant said he was coming today, and we got official letter today showing that he's possibly get us a truck next year, the other tandem that we were hoping for. So we'll bring that to committee next month to discuss pricing and everything on that. The Leonore building, the architect's moving forward with it. Hopefully we'll have it to a letting here in November, if December at the latest, to go forward with that and get that work built next year. We're looking at starting that work after the snow season, so we're looking at starting the work around April 1st to have it hopefully done by September, so when we get around to thinking about getting ready to plow snow the following year, that hardened structure inside those Leonore shed is built. But Wally had a question to me about Leonore. Down Leonore, we've had some citizens create problems for the highway department over the years, and they still create problems for the highway department. This spring, the guy took on themselves to go out and excavate on county right away without permission, and he dug up an old sidewalk. Now he wants the sidewalk raised up above where it's at, because right now when it rains, the water sits on the sidewalk. So with that, as I already discussed with Chairman Jensen, I'm looking at possible solutions to this, which is jurisdictional transfer County Highway 44 from city limit to city limit to the village of Leonore. Since it's kind of been a problem for LaSalle County over the years, and it continues to be a problem, especially with Smitty's being right there, because according to county ordinance and also IDOT local roads policy manuals, the parking that's in front of Smitty's is not the way it should be. And the parking in between the two stop signs is a definite no, and no parking in so many feet of stop signs, a definite no. At that point, it's just, to me, the liability issues are there that we should get away from. This is their main business that's in the village of Leonore. They want to determine what's the best way for that guy to operate. Let them assume the risk that's associated with that. And at that point, our other issue was like Rough Brothers with their entrances. Well, the village wants to grant them a second entrance, they can grant them a second entrance because it's not part of our ordinance anymore because we don't have jurisdiction over that road. So a lot of things could get resolved by doing a jurisdictional transfer.
So, and how much is that? How much land?
It's roughly probably maybe a half mile.
Yeah.
I think somewhere around
It wouldn't
there.
be miles, so it'd be.
Yeah, I think it's about a half mile from one city limit to the other city limits.
What's the process of doing that? Just,
Yeah, it says meeting with the municipalities, see if they'd be willing to take it over. So it's a little negotiation that we have to talk with them and explain what we're looking at and explain that it's your constituents that live in that town that create the problems for us and that they should have to follow our policies because it's the county highway. If you wanted to make it a city street at that point, well, at that point, you guys can determine what's the best thing to do. That's the way we're thinking about going about it.
Sounds good.
And right now, one guy's in a big hurry because I'm not fixing this pond in front of his house. And I'm going, it's not hurting anything. It's not detrimental to the roadway. It's not detrimental to citizens. It's not detrimental to anything. It's just inconveniencing them that they can't walk up a sidewalk when it rains. I don't know. To me, it's not. I think I got pushed through right away. I'm taking my time, making sure everything's done right and get everything done right. So I'll go through and.
We never created it anyhow, so.
Right.
Right.
But
All right.
any other questions for me?
Yeah.
That's all I have.
Anybody else got anything? Nothing? Make a motion to adjourn? Ray?
Yep.
Bill? All in favor? Aye. Opposed?
Yeah, boy, if we could get that done quick, that would be.
make sure you guys all understand what I'm doing, so. What are you gonna do today, bud? Well, no war contract. Make this a building lead, houses up here, of course.
No plans.